Shaquille O'Neal takes full responsibility for the failure of his marriage to Shawnee. Should more divorced men own up and be more accountable? Check this out.
The divorce, you controlled your life forever. You can't control that.
Like, I could,
but you can't.
No, I couldn't.
It's two people that involved in the divorce, bro.
Yeah, but no, I never talked about this, and I'm glad you guys are asking because I don't mind talking about this. But I was bad. She was awesome. She really was. It was all me. I was just look. We don't need to talk about what I was doing, but I wasn't protecting her and protecting those vows. So sometimes when you live that double life, you get caught up. So I'm not gonna say it was her. It was all me because she was. Look, she did exactly what you're supposed to do. Gave me beautiful kids, take care of the house, take care of corporate stuff. It was just all me. Sometimes when you make a lot of mistakes like that, you can't really come.
Interesting. The power of the P-U-S-S-Y. Y'all remember that song? The power of the P-U-S-S-Y. Why do some guys risk it all? They risk everything that they've worked for, that they in their mind thought that they wanted. They risk their job, they risk their credit, they risk their money. They risk their children, they risk their wife, they risk their house, they risk their cars. All for some P-U-S-S-Y. What is so powerful about that makes a man want to risk it all? That's question number one. Shaquille, he mentioned he was living a double life. What's a double life? It's when you have that whole other family on the other side of town. When you got a lot of money, you got a whole nother family in another country. Other side of the United States. You live in New York and you got a whole family in LA with a wife and kids in New York. The power of the P-U-S-S-Y. What is it that will allow a man to make that type of decision to live a double life? I don't know, but men have been doing it since the beginning of time. Since the ages. And then, the thing is, the whole color purpling of America, the whole grandpa had a whole different family. You hear that so often in these discussions. What up, Daryl? My man Daryl. Daryl, what is so powerful about the P-U-S-S-Y? That a man will achieve such great lengths in his career, exceed so far and beyond most people do financially, and then he will risk all of that for some fresh pussy. What would make a man risk that in America, knowing what the laws are, knowing how it's protected out here? What made Shaquille O'Neal do that at the height of his career? That begs the question. I was just talking about the double life, Daryl. They got this whole thing. You hear it a lot in the dating and mating conversations in Black America about grandpa had that whole family on the other side of town. And the women were somebody had to be complicit about it. There may have been one, maybe grandma didn't know, but the other woman knew. Even in my own family, we discovered a new uncle at my grandfather's funeral. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, love. We discovered a new uncle in my family at my grandfather's funeral. We were like, I didn't go because I don't know where I was. Was I in the, I wasn't in the military. I don't know why I didn't go. I don't remember why I didn't go. I don't know if I was in the military or where I was. But my mother and my uncles and my aunt was like, who is that? And he was like, who are y'all? And discovered that my grandfather had a whole nother son by a whole different woman that nobody knew about. Now, my grandmother knew about it. To come to find out, my grandma knew that grandpa had that baby over there. But she stuck by his side nevertheless and didn't tell anybody else. Didn't say nothing to nobody. It was wild to hear. And now we've embraced our uncle because, you know, all of my grandparents are gone now. And we've embraced my uncle and we love him. We've done, we just had a family reunion a month ago, and he was at his children and his family. We've all come together under granddaddy. But most of my entire adult life, I had no idea that he was there. I didn't discover him until I was 40 something. Mother didn't discover him until she was in her 60s. It's crazy, right? What would make a man do that? Daryl says, pussy power. My man Daryl says, pussy power, it's magical. It's magical. Life flows through it. It had commercial value. It has commercial value also. Some women buy homes and afford lifestyles with just that one tool alone. Just that one tool alone. What up, Thomas? What up, Thomas? Just with the pussy alone affords some women the ability to have a house, a decent lifestyle, cars, and live comfortably. Is that not wild to hear? That's real talk. Daryl, he's keeping it 100. And what would make Shaquille O'Neal do something like that? Because look what he risked. Look what he lost. Now, granted, he still maintained a relationship with his children. He still takes care of Shani to a degree, even though she just recently got remarried. Shout out to Shani. And I don't know if she kept her last name after she just got remarried. I don't know if she's still Shani O'Neal. That'd be interesting to find out. I'm gonna have to look that up. Nevertheless, Shaquille risked it all. And is it money that makes a man want to do that? See, back in the day, it wasn't money. My grandfather was by no means a filthy rich man. He bought a house, he took care of his kids, he had decent money, but filthy rich he wasn't. But apparently, when people talk about granddad having all these multiple families, they didn't have a whole bunch of money. But today, in 2022, modern times, is it money that allows a man to philander, to go out there and create whole new families, to gamble? When you talk to the women, they say no. They say the broke dudes do it too. They say the broke dudes do it too. Hoo-ah! The broke men are out there cheating just as much as the rich men, if not more in many cases. Did you hear about Elon Musk's father? Today it was released that Elon Musk, the richest man in the entire world, his dad, who is 74 years old, just had a baby with his 35-year-old stepdaughter. He's smashing his stepdaughter and had a baby with her. And then his response was, men are here to procreate. We're here to procreate. That's great. That's Elon Musk's daddy said. But he got the bread, I'm sure, right? I mean, if your daddy is the richest man in the world, then you're richer than most people, even as his father, even if he just gave you a $500 million just because of net worth. Does money make men do what they do when it comes to the PUSSY? Yes, Lakeisha. You have a powerful tool, Lakeisha. It makes and breaks men. Look at what Shaquille O'Neal. And then, you know what? Here's a question. Why does Shaquille O'Neal admit that now? Years later, why is he admitting it now? It makes me wonder. You know, he's saying I could have took care of that. Shani was great. She was perfect. She took care of that family. She took care of she gave me some beautiful kids. She handled the house. Now, we all know the stories of what Shani was doing, right? But the argument, the pushback to the story is, well, Shani knew that Shaquille was out there smashing other chicks. And she was setting up to leave, you know, with that mad money she was stashing away. Shaquille right now comes out and says, you know what, it was all me, man. She was perfect. She's a great woman. My bad. This is after she got engaged. Is he making it so it's easier for her to hook up with her man and get off of his? I'm just saying. I'm just asking. It's a valid question. Is Shaquille saying, hey, you got a good wife, man, marry her, to make sure that she gets hitched somewhere else so he's off the hook? Who knows? I don't know their financial situation, but that's certainly a valid question. Because why would Shaquille O'Neal come out right now and say what he's saying? And that also begs the question of, do men lie when they say that because it's just manly to do so? Listen, I'm twice married, twice divorced. A lot of people ask me, Shan, what happened? I don't give the details of my divorces, but I do take a lot of responsibility. But then the question asks, why do I take a lot of responsibility? Is it really true that it was my fault if you had to put blame on somebody? Is it true that it was my responsibility as a man because I'm the captain of the ship, because I'm the coach of the team? And if we're failing the game, it's my fault because I'm a bad coach. Is that a manly thing to say? To say, listen, this is what we do, fellas. We take responsibility, even when it ain't our fault. And because it's no big deal off of us, we just save women. Do we save women even when they're clearly wrong? Makes you ask. I'm just saying what I'm saying. If you ask most women, it's never their fault. Rarely do you hear a woman say, hey, you know what? I really fucked up. I really fucked up. Accountability is like kryptonite, they say, right? Shaquille came out and said it's all his bad. How many times can you cheat and still keep her? Why do women leave space and grace for some men to cheat? A lot of women do. Some women don't. Some women is like one and done, right? But a lot of women leave a little bit of space and grace for men to cheat because they understand the nature of men. The flip question is, fellas, how many times could your woman cheat on you? How many times could your committed woman, whether you're in a long-term relationship, a committed relationship, or a marriage, how many times could she fuck her coworker before you leave her? How many times can your woman get banged in the Motel 6 by her coworker before you decide I'm done with her? What if you're heavily in love, man? What if you're heavily invested in her? What if you've been an asshole lately? Is there any excuse that men can give to allow their woman to cheat? It's a good question, right? What was that glitch? It was a glitch in the matrix. My whole system anyways. It makes you ask these questions, you guys. Listen, Shaquille O'Neal came out and said, listen, it was all my fault. Shani O'Neal was perfect. She was great. I fucked up. My bad. Right? That's what men do. It's my responsibility. I could have did something and I didn't do it. Living that double life. Why do we do that? Why do men risk it all for the PUSSY? Why is that pussy so powerful? Why is that pussy so powerful that we will risk millions of dollars, relationship with our children, our jobs, our careers, our reputation, just to get some? I know it doesn't make sense to women. It's not for you to make sense, ladies. Does it take money to do so? And the broker you are, the more committed you should be. Is that the popular opinion? If you ain't got no money and the more average you are, fellas, the more committed to your woman you should be. But the more money you make and the more valuable you are, you can exercise that option. Who believes in that? And lastly, how many times can your woman cheat on you, fellas, before you're out? And fellas, how many times can you cheat on your woman before she leaves? And are you calculating that in your risk assessment when you're out there fucking your secretary? I don't know. What do we learn here? Listen, I'm just trying to save you some heartache, headache, money, and time, fellas. Tune in next time to the next Check This Out. And you, my friends, are dismissed.